Hello and welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to take actions following my I Hacked Yu-Gi-Oh video in order to turn a deck list looking something like this and a list of combos looking something like this into a full set of statistics that governs the consistency of your deck. So before we get into it, if you guys could drop a like if you enjoy the video, give me a sub if you intend to carry on following the content that I produce and want to stay up to date with top deck, things like that. And feel free to share the video if you think someone else could benefit from the content. Okay, so for this video, the first thing we're going to need to do is to set ourselves up. So throughout this video, I'm going to show you how to get yourself into a position where you can do exactly what I did in my previous video about how I hacked Yu-Gi-Oh! You can take this information and create a consistency checker out of it. You're not going to have to do any coding yourself, but you will have to do a little bit of groundwork. So the first thing we're going to need is our set of Python packages. Now the easiest way to get them is via the Anaconda installer. So we're just going to have a Google for Anaconda. Now this is not quite the right kind of Anaconda down here, but if you head onto the download section, here we can see we've got download Anaconda distribution. It will automatically take you to the version of the website that it believes is optimal for you. So in this case I'm on a MacBook, it's taken us to the Mac OS version, but there are the Windows and Linux versions as well. Just go ahead, go and download the latest version of Anaconda. It may take about 10 minutes or something, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less, to get everything going. If you're doing this on Windows, there's a Visual Studio optional install that you have alongside that as well. So doing this on Mac, I've not bothered with that. So once you've downloaded Anaconda, you'll be able to open it up, and you want to open the Anaconda Navigator. That is the main tool that is involved in this. It will take a little while to load up, but essentially what this does is it provides you with a dashboard of everything that you need. So this is just loading up here, and you can see these are the sort of the main aspects of Anaconda and the offerings that it gives you. The only one we actually care about is Jupyter Notebook. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this. We can see it's starting at the command prompt here, and it will open that in a new tab on your web browser. So in this case we're running this on Chrome, and you can see the sort of file setup here. So you're going to need somewhere to start storing all of your files. So I'm just going to rush through here and take us to the place where I'm storing all of this. So you can see I have the Decklist checker here, and the information is actually stored within this deck testing script folder. So once you have this set up, you want to go ahead, start anew, and go for Python 3, the latest installation. You have this cell here, which is where you can type your code in. You can have a comment section by putting the hashtag and then writing stuff, and that won't be treated as code, but that's probably getting a little bit too technical. So what you need to know is this is where you're going to input stuff later. You need to rename this with a suitable title, and then you'll be saving this to whatever location you've stored via the save button. That's basically all that really matters for now. So that's the Anaconda and Jupyter Notebooks set up. So from here we're going to have to start sorting out your active and inactive deck lists. So let's head on to the Excel sheet. So you'll need to create your Excel sheet following the structure that I mentioned in the previous video. So on sheet 1, which you need to title as deck list, you'll need a name column, a category column, and a number column. Very important thing here is that when the Python code is reading in information, it will register spaces. So if you have name space, it's not going to identify that column as being called name, it's going to be identified as called name space. So make sure that all of your columns are just name, category, and number on this sheet. Then you're going to need a secondary sheet called combos. Note the uppercase and lowercase letters here as well, very important. But there will be a version of this that will be accessible to you via a link in the description as well. So you can just copy that one and replace all of the data, but keep all of the headings. So combo number, label, category, and number are the headings for this one. It doesn't matter about the order, you can have these in a different order of columns, but you do need these unique column labels set up. So then you're going to need somewhere to save this. So you need to come up with a storage system, and it needs to follow a particular pattern. So I'm just going to bring up the place where I'm storing all of this, which is the deck testing script folder. I've got a setup for active decks and inactive decks. Now, within your active deck folder, you need to make sure that there's only ever one Excel file saved in here, and make sure that it's saved as .xlsx. That is just because the script is going to look specifically for .xlsx files, and when you want to run the script, you need to make sure that your Excel file is closed. So I'm going to go ahead and close this and save it as it is now, so that we can get working with that. But you still don't have any actual code set up, so we're going to go ahead and access the code. So within the description of this video, there will be access to a folder on the Google Drive that I have set up, and that will take you through to this Decklist checker. So you want to go onto this and download it, and this is the kind of file that we can operate using our Jupyter Notebook. So then we can head back onto Jupyter Notebooks in the sort of documents section, and we're going to come up until we can find our way to downloads, and then we're looking for the most recent downloaded .ip, what is it, .ipybn, I think? IPYNB, that's it, that's the file extension. So that is now saved in here. Again, you can rename it, save it however you like, and this is all of the code that you'll need. There is one major step that you will need to take, and that is adjusting the load path, which gets referenced all over the place, which I believe I put near the top. So yeah, here it is. So this here is a string relating to the folder where we have the deck stored. So don't worry about the technical jargon of string there. String just means a set of text characters, essentially, encapsulated by speech marks. So you need to get this file path. If you're on Windows, it's fairly easy. You just go in your File Explorer and copy the top bit. But in the case of a Mac user, you're going to have to use a slightly different strategy. So I believe the system is you want to right-click and hold down Option, and that will allow you to copy the name of the folder as a path name. So that's now copied onto the clipboard. Then you can dive into here. Make sure you don't highlight the speech marks because you want to keep them there, and then just replace the old text with the new text, which I just did there by a Command V, and that means that your load path will now be set up for your active deck. So as long as you have your one Excel file being the only thing in your active deck folder, and it is saved and closed and set up in the right format, this should now be able to run. So to make it run, you just hit the play button whilst your cursor is within the cell. So this is now going to run for a little bit. There are only 4 combos. You can see it tells you the name of the folder that it's checking in the file. So it's checking up the paleo test folder, and then gives you some information about how it's done 50 runs, 30 successful hands, so you have 60% success rate. There's then a breakdown of the different combos that were used. And there's some overlap between the successes, obviously, because it's just the way that the combo hands work. But you can see different various success rates depending on the combos that you've built. So that should give you all of the tools that you'll need in order to get going with your consistency checking project. So first off, get your Anaconda running, then establish your Excel file, make sure that you've got the folder sorted out, and then just replace the load path here and hit play to get it all going. And hopefully that will help you guys out with the future for consistency checking. If you need access to the Python file again, just head to the description. There'll be a link to the folder there that you can access it from. There'll also be a copy of that paleo test deck list in the same folder, so if you just want the sort of setup with all of the correct column names and sheet names, you can just download that version as well. So hopefully that has been pretty helpful for you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.